long did it take to get Miracle from Thailand to Scotland, and what was it like when he stepped foot off, presumably off the plane, and arrived with you? What was that like?
I mean, it was the process was probably about 9 months.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what had happened was when he was lost in amongst those dogs, there was maybe around 3,000. That's because there was other trucks that had been intercepted. So all these dogs were in one place. It took 2 months for my friend to find him. Every week she would go there. She would take distemper kits. She would pick out the dogs that were either the sickest or the dogs that needed vet care immediately. And because she had sponsors from all around the world, these funds enabled her to do that. So she would get those dogs and she would put them on a truck and she would drive to Bangkok and get those dogs to a clinic. Eventually, when she did find Miracle, the way it worked out was she posted the picture of the day he was found, and straight away I said that was him. And there was other people that had said that they wanted to help him in Germany, and we all kind of clubbed together and worked as a team. At that point, I hadn't decided that I wanted Miracle to come to me. So it was really about just trying to get the dog safe. And over time, everyone said, Amanda, you've fallen in love with this dog. You've got to be the one that has him. So kind of okayed that with everyone else. And from there, from Miracle spending his time in that clinic and being found after those 2 months, it was about 9 months. And he actually ended up in UK on World Stray Animals Day, which I thought was just ironic. That was never in the plan. Didn't even know, didn't realise that date, was going to be so special from that point on. And he actually came across with flight volunteers. He spent some time in Holland, and then he came over by ferry over to Harwich. I flew down, and I had some friends help me out that were going to help transport me back to London Euston so that we could then get the sleeper train up to Scotland. So I kind of wanted to, rather than come the whole journey, I felt it was important to get off in Edinburgh, give him a little break, but we bonded on that train. It was just, I still say that the connection was there immediately, that we had this moment where it was almost like there was a telepathy that he thought, I know it was you that was trying to find me. I still get emotional just thinking about that now.
It's like a meeting of two spirits.
It really was.
You would have known 9 months prior to that, when you saw that image and you like, that's the dog, that's him. And then the whole journey of getting lots of people involved to create the funding to the UK to get him over.
It really is teamwork. I think there's so many people involved, because you've got people like Soy Dog Foundation that they pay undercover officers to intercept those trucks. And then you've got my friend who independently did her own rescue over and above her own full-time job. That, I always say that everyone had their part of the chain in rescuing, and I'm forever grateful for that. I really, really am. And I think that, going back to what you said about a meeting of two spirits, it really was a situation where it was almost like, for want of a better expression, it was like if you were going on a date and you get those butterflies. I was so nervous. I was so nervous to meet this little dog. And then when we actually did meet, and we were travelling back to the station before we were going to get the sleeper back to Scotland, he just curled up on my lap. And at that point, I know that just by his body language, he felt really, really safe. But he was exhausted. Knowing Miracle, that whole journey, that whole process, he would never have slept, So it was jet lag and just sheer exhaustion. And when we got on that sleeper that night, and I knew that I had him contained in that cabin with me and he was safe, I think it was maybe about 2 hours later, when you've got the tracks change and you've got the jostling around of the carriages, it disturbed him, and he was on the floor, and at that point he kind of crept up onto the cabin bed and then came right up to my chest and just curled up and lay beside me. So at that point I realized he knew that he could feel safe with me. That bond was just beginning, you know, at that point.